everybody. Welcome back to Crafts by KMW. Thank you so much for clicking on this video to watch it. I truly appreciate your support and watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it and get something out of it. Today's video is my annual countdown of my favorite supplies from the previous year, so from 2024. These are all supplies that I bought new or repurchased because I love them so much. Every single one of these products is great. They are all wonderful. Of course, some of them have issues. I find that very few products are absolutely 100% perfect, but all of them are wonderful. I had a little bit of trouble ranking them, again, because I like all of them and I use all of them, but I finally got one down and I'm excited to share. So let's get started. There are 12. So number 12 is the Crayola Colors of the World washable marker set of 24. So these are the skinny ones. They do have the fat ones as well. They also have colored pencils and crayons in the Colors of the World line. I love these color-wise. I have never seen any set of skin tone anything that is so complete and allows you to really create any skin tone that you want, from super light to the darkest of dark. The range of colors in this set is fantastic. I have talked about the colored pencils before. Of course, they're Crayola colored pencils, so they're not all that great, but I make them work. I try to use them on certain types of paper that I know they work better on, and I get great use out of them. But I wanted to try the markers as well. These come in 3 boxes of 8. And as you can see, the shades are fantastic. So some of these shades are so super light. It makes making skin tones such a pleasure because you can really get those light skin tones that you need without a lot of effort. And then here are the dark tones. These are separated or divided into 3 colorways. So you have almond, golden, and rose. And there's an uneven number in each one. I think rose has maybe 10, and then almond and golden have a little bit less. But they are wonderful. Now, I have used these once. I will say, you know, they're markers. They're water-based markers. And we know that they're a little bit streaky. But if you keep layering, you should be able to get rid of the streaks. I also will say that they're not super juicy. I don't know if it's just my set or if because they're thin markers, it took a little bit of effort to color with them. And then my only other complaint is that the light colors are really light. Like this one, this very light rose, it is almost undiscernible on the paper. So that's my only other issue. But I do recommend these. I have used them on several pages. And what I do is I use these as the first layer, and then I go over them with my colored pencils. And that way I don't have to work as hard to get out all the white of the paper because it's already gone because of the markers. And it just makes making the skin tones and coloring in faces and whatnot much easier. So I really like these, and they are pretty cheap. I think they're $5, maybe 6 tops. So these are really economical, and they work pretty well. So the next one is number 11, and it is gel crayons. I guess specifically King Art gel crayons. This is the King Art set of metallics. I got these at either HomeSense or HomeGoods. If you have never shopped at HomeSense or HomeGoods or TJ Maxx, they're all under the same parent company for art supplies, you need to. They have journals, paper pads, they have planners, markers, watercolors, regular paints, colored pencils, gel pens. They have a really nice selection of art supplies, and they're getting better and better as they're selling more and they're becoming more popular. I think they were targeted at like children or just people who were planning, but now more people are actually buying the supplies, artists and colorists, people like you and me. And I think they are starting to up the ante a little bit, which is great for us. Sometimes you do have to go back multiple times. It's hit or miss. I've been there when they've had a ton of stuff, and then I've been there when they had like hardly anything. So sometimes you have to go a couple of times to see everything that they have, but I absolutely recommend going and checking out their art supplies. I have one other art supply, actually two, from HomeGoods or HomeSense in this countdown. So they have great art supplies and they're super cheap. So this set, I think it was maybe $8.99, $9.99 at the most. It includes, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. One is missing, but there's 12 in the set. The King Art gel crayons are actually really good, and gel crayons in general, I absolutely love. They go on really creamy like a lipstick, and you can use them wet or dry. And they allow you to create really beautiful backgrounds, and you can use them in your journals, all kinds of stuff. However, I don't like these colors. So this is the metallic set. I actually can say I hate it. I hate the colors. There are probably 2, maybe 3 of these colors that I actually like. The rest of them, truly, I could throw away because I will never use again. They are just not, they're just not good colors. They are metallic-y, but they're not pretty colors. And there's no red. I don't even understand that. There's no regular green. Like, how can you have a set of metallics without red and green? I don't get it. So I'm actually, the next time I go, I'm going to check and see if they have like a pastel set or a primary set and try the regular colors. But I do recommend these. The gel crayons themselves are really nice to work with. So number 10 is a set of pastel gel pens that I got from, I believe I got these from HomeSense. And these are from Lottie Dottie. I love that name. And this is a set of 8 pastel colored gel pens. I have showed these, I think, in a haul video. They are lovely. The colors are really light, and with gel pens, it's often hard to get really light colors, even with pastels. So that's why I wanted these, and I was hoping they were really light, and they are. So they fill in the gaps of my other gel pen sets. I love them. They work really well. I can't speak to how long they last because I haven't gotten to the point where any of them have run out yet. But I suspect they're pretty comparable to any other gel pen. They're the same size. They're not small or anything. So I would think the ink capsule inside is pretty comparable to other gel pens. These were, I think, like $4.99, which is a great price. So check these out if you can. I'm not sure if they had regular colors, like primary colors or anything like that. This was the only set of gel pens they had in the store at the time when I was there. So I just grabbed them. So number 9 are the Jelly Roll by Sakura glazed pens in the pastels. So I've been using the Jelly Roll glazed pens for years. I love them. I have showed them many times on my channel. If you're not familiar with them, they are supposed to give you a raised, sort of puffy look, as well as a lot of shine. They're meant to be used on non-porous surfaces, like something like this, or a ceramic tile, or plain glass, so you can make designs on there that are permanent. I use them in my coloring books. They allow me to get a metallic look or a patent leather look. I've used them to make patent leather Mary Jane shoes. I've used them to make metal looking like light posts and fences, blood. They are awesome. And they have two sets. They have the jewel tones and then they have the pastels. And I hadn't gotten the pastels. I didn't think I wanted or needed them, but I found them, I think at Michael's, and they were on sale. These are quite expensive. They can be anywhere from like $15 to $20 something, depending on where you're buying them. So they were on sale, so I went ahead and scooped them up. So now I have every single color of the glazed pens, and I'm so excited. I will definitely use these, and they're just a delight to use. The white, of course, doesn't work as well as the other ones. I just don't know what it is with white, but they all work really well. The colors are great. They're darker pastel. Like, these are pastels, but they're darker. So if you're looking for really light pastel colors, this isn't it, but they are lovely. So next is a diamond painting supply. So this is an organizer for your diamonds. So this is a 3-tier organizer. I believe I got this from Amazon, and I think they had different colors. And I believe it was, I don't know, the price was probably anywhere between $12 and $16, $17. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but it wasn't that high. I thought that was decent. For 3 tiers, they clasp together so you can remove each tier. You can put them in any order you want. Has a nice sturdy handle, and they came with all of the little vials. And I don't remember how many vials there were. I want to say 120. I'm not sure. It could be anywhere from 100 to 120. And actually, I think they had different size sets. I think they have one of these that's only 2 tiers and has a smaller number of the vials. I think you might even be able to buy just 1 tier. So there was a lot of flexibility there, but it's great. So I have my diamonds all ready for 3 different diamond paintings in here. And it gives you enough room to actually store some other things too. I have some diamonds still in the bag there. So this was a really good purchase. I really needed it. I needed more of the little vials, and I'm so happy I bought that one. I do not know what company it's from. It was some, you know, generic company that I probably couldn't even read the name of. A lot of those companies have long, really strange names, but if you check it out on Amazon, there's probably a lot of different sellers that sell something that's comparable and are just as good. But if you diamond paint, I think having one of these is really important and a must. So next is a book. So it is The Colorist Special Effects 5 book by Helen Elliston. This is an amazing book. So she is an artist, and she gives you step-by-step instructions on how to make really cool effects on your pages. And on the cover, you can see a bunch of the effects. So there's like a blob here. There are these little smiley faces, the Mylar balloons, which is what attracted me to this book, because I have a page in an Anastasia Ali Caldereva book that has 3 Mylar balloons, and I want to be able to color them as realistically as I can. So when I saw this, I was like, ooh, I need that book. But I don't want to show you too much because of copyright, but there's just so much in here. So here she shows you how to make like a filigree. Here, how to color a suit and tie, how to make a cupcake with frosting, how to make beer and beer foam. There's just so many cool stuff. This one is actually thicker than her normal ones. I believe this one cost, I want to say $29.99. It might be anywhere from $26.99 to $29.99. This one was the most expensive of her books. She has 4 other volumes. This is the one other one that I have. This is number 1, and it is thinner than the number 5. But this one has a lot of really awesome ideas in it as well. And I am going to do, I think, 3 coloring challenges for 2025 from this book. So I haven't really used it yet as much, so I'm really trying to get my money's worth. So I'm really excited about using it. If you are looking to kind of up your game with coloring, be more realistic, and learn some new techniques, because she does show you some really cool techniques in here. Like in I'm not sure if it's in this book or in the other one, she shows you how to make fur with like a scratching technique, and it's so cool. I never thought of that before. So you learn really cool techniques as well. So really great book to have in your bookshelf, in your arsenal. So next, this is a weird one. I don't think I've ever featured this as a favorite supply before, but I think it's worth sharing. So it is ink. I have a Canon printer, and I print a lot. I print coloring pages that I have bought online or free ones that I get online. I print ephemera and papers and digital elements that I use in my scrapbooking and journaling and paper crafting. For Christmas this year, I made a whole bunch of ornaments digitally that I printed out and cut out and hung on my tree. So I go through a lot of ink, and Canon ink is just exorbitant. I think whatever printer you have, the printer ink made by the company, I'm sure, is really expensive. And so it is worth it to buy counterfeit ink. I know I don't want to make that sound bad, but that's like the word that popped into my head. So I have tried so many different brands, and finally I found one that is really good. I've bought it about 5 times. This I bought in November. This is from Easy Ink, E-Z Ink. Now, it does say door ink on the actual ink containers, but when you look it up on Amazon, it says Easy Ink. So I usually buy the big box. They have different sizes. My printer takes the magenta, yellow, cyan, as well as 2 ink containers of black. So I buy the big box that has 3 of each, and they're all considered the XXL size. And I think they're about $26 a box, which I think is amazing. If I were to buy just this from Canon, it would probably be like 50 bucks. So it is totally worth it. I've never had a problem with the Easy Ink cartridges. Every time I put one in, my printer says, "Thank you for installing Canon Genuine Ink." And I'm like, haha, no, I didn't. I fooled you. But it's really great. And If you are looking to buy ink a little bit more cheaply, check it out. I'm sure there are other companies that are just as good, but I wanted to share this one because I have had really good luck. I've never had a cartridge that was rejected by my printer, never had any duds. So you really get your money's worth, and they last a long time. They really do. I'm not sure if they last quite as long as the manufacturer ink cartridges do. I don't know if there's, you know, studies or information on that, but I feel like they last a long time. All right, so now we are on number 5, and this is my set of Shuttle Art skin tone colored pencils. So here they are. Let me see, these might be upside down. Nope. As you can see, I use them a lot. I think I've thrown out 3 because there was just a little nub left. A lot of them are really small, especially the light colors, because I really have been using these. They are really decent pencils. I think I did a video on them on my channel. It's either I did a full video on them or I went really in depth in my haul video. So you can check that out if you want to learn more. These were not that expensive. They were definitely under $20. There are 36, and as you can see, the colors are pretty good. You have a really nice range. I went for them because they had a lot of lighter shades, which is what I look for, because I usually use, even if I'm going for a darker skin tone, I usually use a lighter shade as a base, and then I build up the color and the darkness with other colors. So I look for a lot of light shades, and this really hit the mark with that. Shuttle Art, I would say they are a mid-range art supply, you know, not artist quality, but I found they're pretty decent. They're a little hard. They don't blend and layer as good as like Prismas do, but if you work with them, if you use them on the right paper, you can get really good results. And I have colored a lot of faces and people with these and have gotten really lovely results. So if you're looking for another set or your first set of skin tone pencils, I highly recommend these. They're really nice for the money. Number 4 is Tombow colored pencils. So this is a set of 36. I bought these because I wanted a set of pencils that I could travel with and that came in a thin tin that I can just stick in my bag and wouldn't take up a lot of room. So when I take my coloring outside of my home, I don't have to rifle through my big sets of colored pencils, put them in something, and then when I get home, put them back in their holders. This way I have a set that I can use just for that. I don't use these really for anything else. Sometimes I color with them at home if I'm finishing a page I already started, but generally I save these for when I am coloring outside of my house. So they're pretty decent. I want to say these were $18, $19. They have a nice set of colors. There's 5 blues, there's 5 greens, 6 greens, there's 5 browns, 4 oranges, 3 yellows, 2 yellows. Yeah, 2 yellows. This is sort of more, I put this in more of an orange category. There's 4 reds, there's 1 pink and a magenta. So 2 pinks, 3 purples, a black, a medium gray, a white, and a silver, and a gold. So a decent color range for a 36 set. The white really is useless. It really doesn't work that well at all. So I don't really count that. I always bring a Prismacolor white with me, and I also bring a Prismacolor black with me. And they're decent. They're hard. They seem to sharpen well, so I don't think they got broken in shipping, which is nice. I think the packaging is good. And they are decently pigmented. Not as pigmented as, say, Faber-Castell or Prismacolor, but they're definitely more pigmented than like Crayola or Sargent. So they're definitely decently pigmented. They layer and blend decently well. It does depend on the paper. I find that they work really well in Hannah Carlson books, and they work fairly well in like Kirby Roseanne's and the Beauty of Horror books. You just have to test it and see where they work best. But I really like them in Hannah Carlson books. So I actually brought out my Tales from the Witch's Cottage because I was just working on in that book today. And I want to just show you. Okay, so this page is done exclusively with these pencils. And I was able to get really rich, deep color. I was able to get blending and shading. I did this with 3 different shades to make it look like antique gold. And this apple has probably 6 or 7 colors in it, and I would say at least 30 to 40 layers. It took a while, but I finally got it to look really smooth, exactly the way I wanted it. So you can get really good results with these pencils. It just might take a little more effort depending on your paper. But if you're looking for a travel set of pencils or just an additional set, I think Tombows are a good a good alternative. And I do want to mention the gold and the silver. Actually, let me get that book back. The gold and the silver are awesome. Holy cow, they are really good. They are much better than I would ever think that they would be. They are so good. So here is a background I did in the silver. And I don't know if you can see, but it has some glitter in it, and it does have a shiny sheen. They are so nice. These gold and silver metallics are even better than the Prismacolor ones. I tell ya, they're so good. It's really shocking. The only thing is you cannot blend them with a blender, because once you blend them, you take the shine and the sheen out of it, and it just becomes a gray, and the gold becomes kind of like a brown. So you do have to work at it. That, what I just showed you, probably has 6 or 7 layers to make it look as smooth as it does. But color-wise, they are beautiful. So highly recommend the Tombow colored pencils. I don't know what other sets they have. If they have larger sets, I'm sure they have. I'm sure they do. So if you'd like more, you can buy them. But Tombow pencils are really nice, almost as good as their markers, I can confidently say. So number 3 is the watercolors from Home Goods Home Sense. So I have 2 sets. I think I bought one in one store and one in the other. I don't know which. This is a smaller set. I think this has 21, and as you can see, I've been using these because a lot of the wells are empty. And then this one has 36. The brushes were trash. I threw those out, but the watercolors are amazing. I don't know what company this one is from, but these are Yasutomo. I don't know anything about that company. but they are so, so nice. I have, I think, 2 videos on my channel that highlight these watercolors. They're fantastic, and I believe they were not more than $9. I think one set was $7.99 and the other set was $8.99. They are fantastic. The only problem I have with them is that, especially in this set, there's not that much paint. You can see that a lot of them are empty, and I remember with this color, I only used it on 1 page, and I used up the whole color. So you don't get a lot, but for me, I think that's okay because you can just go buy another set. They're cheap enough, so it really doesn't matter. These seem to have more. I've used these a lot, and I still have quite a bit in most of them. So these seem to have a little bit more paint, and this has a better color range than this one. The metalliciness is wonderful. They're decently opaque. If you want true opaqueness, you do have to do a couple of layers, but that's okay with me. I don't mind. The layers get easier once you have one down. So if you're looking for some watercolors, if you're just getting started or you want to add to your stash, these are amazing and super, super cheap, which I love. And then number 2 is this Sennelier fixative for soft pastels. I use soft pastels a lot. I love to use them for backgrounds. Sometimes I use them on my skin tones if the like face or whatever is really large and takes up a majority of the page. This works really, really well. It's super expensive. You can get it from anywhere from like $20 to almost $30. I bought this at my local art store, and it was on sale for $20.29, and the regular price is $28.95. If you go on Amazon, you'll see it for different prices depending on the seller. And you have to beware because sometimes they don't offer free shipping. But if you can get it, I highly recommend it. It smells awful. You do have to protect yourself. I sometimes go outside, but I found that it's almost always windy when I do it. And so I feel like most of it is blowing away instead of going on my page. So when I use it indoors, I put the page inside a big brown paper shopping bag, and then I spray inside, and then I close the bag really fast to keep it all in there, and it minimizes the fumes. And I usually wear a mask as well, so I don't have to smell it. And 2 or 3 coats, you are good to go. And you can even seal before you've colored the whole page. So sometimes I do the backgrounds first, and then I'll seal, and then I'll go ahead and color the rest of the page, and it's perfectly fine. The fixative does not do anything to mess up anything for any other supplies that you use. So really, really nice. They have it for charcoal as well, charcoal pastels, but I get it for the soft pastels, and it works marvelously. This is the 3rd can I've bought, and I bought this in May of last year, and I've used it quite a lot. I've probably sprayed, I would say, about 40 pages, and I have about half a can left. So it does last a decent amount of time for the amount of money that you're paying for it. So now we are to number 1. So this is my absolute favorite supply and most loved supply from 2024, the Nina cardstock. I discovered this last year, and I am so glad I did. I had heard and read a lot of people talking about Nina cardstock, and I was like, whatever. And I was using photo paper to print everything on. And photo paper is expensive. Like a pack of like 20 sheets or 50 sheets can be anywhere from $30 to $50. It's expensive. And I was going through so much. I'm like, I cannot keep doing this. And photo paper is not great for printing coloring pages. So I needed to find something else. And I decided to give this a try. I bought this on Amazon. It's 65 pound, 175 GSM. There's 75 sheets and it was $6.99. I don't think that's too bad. It's very high quality paper. It is very bright white. It has a great surface. It is a nice medium weight. I don't want to open this pack yet because I have another pack that's open. But it is a nice medium weight, so you do hear it. It does make noise when you flick it, but it's not too heavy where your printer won't take it. I know my printer, if I try to put cardstock in there that's too thick, it won't let it feed through. So this 65 pounds seems to work really, really well. And one thing I really love about it is that when you print coloring pages, the ink, no matter what ink you have, I just use refurbished ink, as I showed you earlier, and it is not permanent ink, but on this paper, the ink becomes permanent, so you can use your wet media on your printed pages. I can't tell you how many coloring pages I've printed on other types of paper, watercolor paper, colored pencil paper, and as soon as I put something wet on there, the ink starts to dissolve from the image. And it was so frustrating. So several people commented that that doesn't happen. So I gave it a try and it truly doesn't happen. I printed a page. I did a Halloween color along and I printed that page on this paper and I used some of the gel crayons on there and there was no bleeding or blurring of the lines at all. So highly recommend this if you print anything, coloring pages, digital items that you buy online, digital papers or journal projects or anything like that. It is fantastic for all your printing needs. I am going to stick with this paper. I'm going to use it all the time now, and it is a really good value. I don't think it's that expensive, but I guess when you compare it to like a ream of regular paper that you can get for the same price, it is, but I totally think it is worth it because when you're printing, especially coloring pages, you want quality paper so your lines don't bleed. So it is totally worth it. So that is my countdown of my favorite supplies from 2024. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, let me know what you liked, what you thought, what items you have or what things you would like to try. I'd love to see what you think. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to have you join me there. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so my channel can continue to grow. I appreciate all of my new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel, and I wish you an absolutely fantastic day and, of course, a very crafty day. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great one. I'll see you next time.